Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 edition of the Cubica AMF Bowling Promotion Cup. This is the male version of our first two matches, and Valentin Saulnier, who's a member of the French national team, is about to take his first shot. And lots of power behind that shot and a mixer strike to kick things off for Valentin. We're here at Redbowl in the town of Angers, Sud, France, which translates to Angers South, which is a beautiful city about 200 miles southwest of Paris. And you saw the replay of that mixer strike by Valentin. And now we'll get a first look at Valentin's opponent. It's 18-year-old local player Lucas Sauvetre, who's only been bowling for 3 months. Let's watch his first shot. Oops, a little bit off to the right for Lucas, but gets relatively out of trouble with leaving only the 1-2. And Lucas, as so many young players are, a two-hander. And interesting that he's right behind the ball with that release. And now he's going to take his plastic spare ball and go for this 1-2 spare. And right up the middle of the lane, no problem for the spare there. Good shot, Lucas. Once again, the first two exhibition matches, we saw Daria Payok perform beautifully in the first match, shooting 279 and winning her first exhibition match. And here we have Lucas's second shot. And Lucas is throwing in a Global 900 Ordnance Pearl. Get a little bit more side rev on that one and give him the strike. So there's 20 in the second for Lucas. And he's going to immediately force Valentin to double if he wants to take the lead in this match. Valentin, of course, a member of the French national team, as we said. And in 2018, he qualified for a Storm event over here and averaged 262 for 6 games. So that tells you that this young man has a lot of power. And you can see in that release there's a lot going on there, but comes up light on that right lane. There's a 2-4-5 that he leaves. And with the spare, that's going to make him tied with his opponent, Lucas. Notice he gets it a little bit right. I think he thought that was going to turn the corner. He didn't really think badly of the shot. It just didn't quite make the corner on him. And Valentin throwing an IQ Tour, which is a very controlled ball, a very successful ball for Storm. One that I've drilled many variations of. And he uses the strike ball to cross the lane and go over right at the 2-4-5. So even though he throws a strike ball, he throws it very straight at his spares. A controlled way to make your spares there. So all tied up, 20 in the first for each player. And Valentin stepping up in the third. There will be a total of 25 matches as part of this 11th annual cup. And once again, Bruno Bidone putting on a wonderful show with some great international players. And here's Valentin's third shot. Gets it in a little bit, turn it up, and gets similar hit to his first frame, but comes up to leave a mixer 7-pin that he'll have to cover. And of course, two folks that we often see at these matches are my friends Amy Vialli and Chris Vialli from the Massachusetts, USA area. And they weren't able to make the trip this year because of course, this nasty pandemic we're going through. Of course, you see everyone with masks. And you see Valentin taking down his mask as he steps on the approach. Very common practice in bowling and competitive bowling, where you take your mask down as you're making your shot, then you replace it as you step off the approach, which you'll see him do. And there he is there. So good cover on the 7-pin, clean through 3. And that's going to give Lucas, believe it or not, a 1-pin lead here. You got to believe Lucas is the underdog, 18 years old, 3 months bowling against a French national player. And let's see how the young man controls himself and controls his emotions and makes his shot. And how about a double to take the lead? It's an 11-pin lead for Lucas right there. You can see him get a little bit more on the side of this release, so he gets a little bit more hook on the ball to turn through the pocket, and a beautiful strike on that right lane. Once again, the town of Angers, about 200 miles southwest of Paris. Beautiful area. And there will be multiple locations that the Bowling Promotion Cup will be visiting as part of the tour. Now, unfortunately, Lucas looks like he slipped a little bit on that lane. Now, we did see Daria Payok have some problems. It looks like he almost fouled there. And we saw Daria slip a few times on that lane. And let's see it once again from the side. And let's see if he gets a little bit of... Yeah, he's not too bad. But he does look down a little bit and loses a little bit of balance there. I guess after 3 months, you have to be very impressed with this young man's progress. And now he pitches that off to the right. And unfortunately, he's not going to make the corner to make the very unusual 1-8-9 spare. And leaves him with 8 out. And that's going to give Valentin the lead back, sitting on the bench. Let's see what he can do in this right-hand lane. And gets it a little bit right, and another light hit there. He left the 2-4-5 last time, and now it's just the 2-pin. But he needs to move on that lane and try to get that ball to make the corner. And if he can really, one of these shots, we'll try to get a really good look at his release. He's got a very interesting style and a very powerful style in that his fingers are to the left of his thumb as he gets through the shot. And we'll try to get a really good look behind that on one of these, and we'll really focus on it. And that is where a tremendous amount of power comes from. And there's another bowler who is able to get his wrist in some even more so of a position, and his name is Jacob Buttriff, and he has an amazing amount of power through the shot. And again, one-handed versus two, we're really talking about where that hand is and where that wrist is at release. So let's see if we could see it on this shot. And no problem on the spare there for Valentin, now enjoying a 4-pin lead. And he got through that shot very well and give him the strike. Good shot there. And 5-pin lead now for Valentin. Now let's see if Lucas can get back on track here. Another good shot on this right lane. He struck the last time on this lane. And pretty good release right behind it, but kind of goes right through the oil. Doesn't make the corner really at all and leaves the 1-2-10 washout. And that's going to present quite a challenge for this young man. He takes out his plastic ball. He might, on conditions like this, he might think about using his strike ball for his spares. Let's see if he can get this to the right and make it. But unfortunately, he only takes out the 1, giving him 8. So that's going to put him in a 17-pin deficit now behind Valentin. We are bowling on the neon oil pattern from Kegel. 43 feet, 12.9 to 1 ratio. So quite a bit of oil in the middle compared to the outside. 24.76 mils, so an average amount of oil on the lane, but quite a bit of it in the middle. And he laid that ball out there nicely. Beautiful strike there for Lucas. And good shot there. Let's see if Valentin can really start to open this up. He, with his release and this oil pattern, you've got to believe that he's thinking he should be scoring quite a bit, maybe quite a bit higher than he has. He doesn't have a double yet. And we'll see how he ends up here. Let's see this wonderful release with this IQ Tour in the right lane. And he's let it out, and he comes up light again for the 210. And that's a even worse result. He's left the 245, the 2-pin, and now the 210. And I think he's certainly moving. He's smart enough to realize the ball's not making the corner. And it might be that as he tries to make his move, he moves into the oil, and it just doesn't react for him. So his 17-pin lead is going to go down, unless he can make this. It's going to go down to single digits, and we've got quite a match here going into the 7th frame. And he goes left, gives it a shot. Good effort, but doesn't quite make it. So that's going to give him, and you see, and now his lead is down to just 5 over the youngster Lucas. 18-year-old local player, only bowling for 3 months. Really impressive that he's here. Here's a ball change by Valentin. I think what he's realizing is that he's not getting the back end out of that IQ Tour, which is a very controlled reaction. It's a really good ball for sport shots and things like that. I don't think he's seeing the back end that he's hoping for there. That's a nuclear cell he just switched to. So that's going to be a ball with a little bit more RG, longer down the lane, turns up higher. And first shot, no sweat, turns up, makes the corner, and a commanding strike there. I think that was an excellent ball change by Valentin. There you can see his release a little bit. If you see those fingers really on the inside, right next to his ankle and closer to his body than even his thumb is. So he's got that rotation and a tremendous amount of power there. So now, can Lucas double? This would be a huge double if he could get it. And close. Yes, give it to him. And we have another lead change. And Lucas taking the lead by 5. Pulled it right up the oil. It stayed there, and kaboom. There's a 5-pin lead now for Lucas. And that's going to be him on the bottom there. And actually, he's got another 10 because of that double. So let's see if he can extend his lead even more. And once again, he slipped. Tried to make it up to the pocket, even though he slipped and didn't quite get everything on it. But he gets 9 out of that. And he did well not to foul. But now he's going to take that T-zone and go straight at that 2-pin. And gets the turn right at the end. He's asking that plastic ball to hook right in the middle of the oil. And it struggled and resisted him, but finally gave in and turned a couple of boards he needed to make that 2-pin. Now Valentin, let's see. He's come up light 3 times in a row in this right lane. Let's see if this nuclear cell can get him a little bit more back end, a little bit more turn, and get him the double he needs to retake the lead in this match. We're through 8 frames, and the 18-year-old has the lead over the French national player. And gets through it very nicely. Out to the right, comes back. Beautiful strike there for Valentin. Great shot. Great ball change. Now watch his fingers. See how he's got that tremendous turn around the ball. And he got a mitt full of that one. I think even beyond what he was doing with the IQ, he gave that one a little bit of extra whack. So now we're going to give him the 6-pin lead over the youngster. There will be numerous other locations in Europe visited by the Bowling Promotion Cup, and you'll see more matches on the same YouTube channel. So if you'd like to subscribe, that would be great. And gets around that one and come up and, ooh, almost another 210. Almost. How about a strike? He gets the 10 out on the messenger, then gets a very friendly roll on this pin coming around. Let's see which pin it was. I think it was the, oh boy, one of the back pins. Couldn't really even tell, but boy, what a huge break for Valentin. And he knew it too, because he said he got that right. Imagine if he had left that 210, he would have given the lead right back to Lucas. But instead, he gets the strike and it opens up a commanding lead. And now here's a pull. Here's an outright pull by Lucas. maybe a little bit of a nervous shot there. And watch how he's way away from his ankle, away from his body, and turns it over. And, you know, after 3 months, I don't think I could make anywhere near as good a shot as he just made there, every shot he's made. So good for this young man, making a very nice showing for the local town here. And unfortunately comes up with only one. And so that's going to put him in a pretty deep hole now, where just a couple of frames ago he was leading. So we're going to give him 155 now in the ninth. With a mark, he'll be in the 170s. And Valentin up in the 200s. And that's straight up the middle, right up the oil, right through, and leaves that 3-pin. But unfortunately, with just the last couple of frames, the break by Valentin and a couple of errant shots there by Lucas, Valentin is going to wrap up this match. Oh, here's an interesting change. He switched to another plastic ball, and with the single swing, with the single hand, not two-hand, covers the spare. So kind of similar to Osku Palermo. Now, if he can just speed that ball up by about 20 miles an hour, he'll have the same game as Osku. Look at that. Nice and clean right down the middle. And very nice cover on the 3-pin there. This to shoot 175 for Lucas. And representing himself very well here in this TV match. And there's the bucket. So I think we're looking at 171 there for Lucas. Kind of a little bit of a disappointing finish after that double. He had doubled through the 7th. And then just had a little slip on the approach and a couple other issues. So here's Valentin. He's going to take a victory lap here. And right now he's in the 2-0s. Can he get into the 2-10 or even 220s? And once again gets it out to the right, and that nuclear cell is doing the job when it turns the corner like that. And that's going to give him, now he's in the 2-10s. Can he get to the 220s? Look at that release. You see those fingers on the inside of his thumb. That is all power, folks. And I wonder if he'll be able to keep that up into his later years. But for now, he's got a wonderful game with tremendous power and control, because he's got a beautiful arm swing as well. And another good shot for Valentin. Ring 10 this time. That's going to put him in the 215 range if he makes the spare. And a wonderful exhibition match here by these two players. Won by Valentin. And we're looking forward to bringing you more of these 2020 Cubica AMF Bowling Promotion Cup matches. Once again, Bruce Hall here. And we'll be back with more of these matches on this channel. Oh, flags the 10-pin, but that's okay. Give him 214. Nice game there by Valentin. Good ball change. And a little fist pump there. And let's see Valentin with the trophy. Congratulations, Valentin. And we'll see you all back for the next match.